good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Surbhi Sharma. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 21st of March. Death toll climbs to at least 11 in building collapse in southern India. Pakistani opposition leader accuses government of waging politics of revenge. And India soaks in colours of Holi festival. And now for all the details. Death toll climbed to at least 11 on Thursday in a building collapse which happened on Tuesday evening in Dharwad district of India's southern Karnataka province. Meanwhile, rescue operations continued and officials said that more than 60 trapped persons had been dug out so far and are undergoing treatment.
Death toll rose to at least 11 on Thursday in a building collapse which happened on Tuesday evening in Dharwad district of India's southern Karnataka province. Officials said more than 60 people have been rescued so far from the site of the under-construction shopping complex building which had caved in. Meanwhile, rescue operations continued on Thursday to find more survivors till the last reports came in. The injured are undergoing treatment at a nearby hospital, officials said. According to local media reports, the building was under construction for the past 2 years. There is no official confirmation yet on the reason behind the collapse. Building collapses in India are common, aggravated by the use of poor building materials, substandard maintenance practices, and unprofessional work skills.
In news from Pakistan, leader of one of Pakistan's main opposition parties, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, on Wednesday accused the government of deliberately targeting its political opponents after he and his father were summoned by an anti-graft agency for questioning in 3 cases. Leader of Pakistan People's Party, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, on Wednesday accused the Pakistani government of deliberately targeting its political opponents. His statement came after he and his father, former Pakistani President Asif Ali Zardari, were summoned by Pakistan's anti-graft agency, National Accountability Bureau or NAB, for questioning in 3 cases related to corruption and money laundering. Hundreds of angry supporters of Bhutto's liberal and secular Pakistan People's Party thronged the office of the anti-graft agency and raised slogans against the incumbent Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan.
ये निज़ाम इंसाफ का निज़ाम नहीं है, एहतिसाब का निज़ाम नहीं है, इंतकाम का, पॉलिटिकल इंजीनियरिंग का निज़ाम है.
Bhutto's mother, Benazir, was assassinated in a gun and suicide attack in December 2007. His father, Zardari, spent 11 years in jail before his release in 2004 on corruption and murder charges, which were never proved. The family denies all accusations of corruption and says the cases have been fabricated for political reasons. Moving on, Ahmadiyya community leaders recently highlighted that the Pakistan government has given a free hand to the Muslim clergymen who closely collaborate with terrorist groups and create problems worldwide. They also raised the issue of misuse of blasphemy laws which target minorities, including Ahmadiyyas and Christians in Pakistan.
The Pakistan government has given a free hand to the mullahs or Muslim clergymen who closely collaborate with terrorist groups and create problems worldwide, like the recent terror attack in Kashmir. Leaders of Pakistan's persecuted Ahmadiyya community said in Geneva recently. The leaders of the Ahmadiyya community, a minority sect of Muslims, also highlighted how in Pakistan they are being denied even the basic rights, like practicing their religion and voting, besides being targeted with false cases of blasphemy. They sought to draw the international focus on Pakistan-bred terrorism, besides demanding an amendment to the draconian laws targeting them in Pakistan.
अब देखें जो गवर्नमेंट है पाकिस्तान की वो मुल्लाओं को खुली छुट्टी दे रही है, यानी रिट जो है गवर्नमेंट की वो उनके हाथ में है, जो वो चाहें वो करते हैं. अच्छा, इन हालात में जैसे मैंने कहा है कि उन लोगों का जो ताल्लुक़ है वो बहुत सारे जो टेररिस्ट हैं, दहशतगर्द हैं, ऐसी तंजीमें हैं दुनिया में, जिहादी हैं.
The issues in Pakistan are every day. The whole community lives in fear from the time they go to school, to work, to any activity. The persecution is all pervasive. And the problem is these things can come out of nothing. False charges of blasphemy.
The Ahmadiyya leaders demanded that the Pakistan government must abolish the draconian blasphemy law misused by the state and non-state actors to target the minorities, which also include Christians, Hindus and Sikhs. Human rights defenders have long blamed the blasphemy law is exploited by religious extremists as well as ordinary Pakistanis to settle personal scores against minorities.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghanistan's National Security Adviser Hamdullah Mohib on Wednesday broke his silence with no strong reaction days after his remarks about the role of US Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad in the peace process with the Taliban drew strong backlash. Mohib urged Afghans to work together for upcoming presidential elections and lasting peace in the country. Afghanistan's National Security Adviser Hamdullah Mohib on Wednesday broke his silence with no strong reaction days after his remarks about the role of US Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad in the peace process with the Taliban drew strong backlash from US officials in Washington. Mohib on Wednesday made the first appearance alongside Afghan President Ashraf Ghani in Kabul since his controversial remarks on March 14th. He said in a video message that Afghanistan will have to work on a number of important priorities such as consultative Loya Jirga, lasting peace and the upcoming presidential elections. At ceremony in Washington, D.C. last week, Mohib had accused Khalilzad of delegitimizing the Afghan government by excluding it from the peace negotiation with the Taliban and acting like a viceroy. Mohib had also said that the US has created an information vacuum regarding the peace talks with the Taliban. More news from Afghanistan. Children have been the worst sufferers of 17-year-long war in Afghanistan, with many killed, orphaned or forced to work on the streets to earn a living for themselves and their families. According to a United Nations report released in February, at least 927 children were killed last year in the country.
In a country where half of the population is younger than 15 years of age, the Afghanistan's 17-year-long war has arguably hit children the hardest. They have been killed, orphaned, sold or forced to work on the streets so that they can earn for the survival of their families, aid workers say. According to a United Nations report released in February, at least 927 children were killed last year, the most since records have been kept. But these numbers have spiked in recent years as the Taliban seized more parts of the country. A 12-year-old, Zabiullah Mujahid, who polishes shoes on a street in Afghan capital Kabul, said his father was killed in a suicide bomb attack 4 years ago, and now he works to feed his family.
ما طالبان ډیر بد راځي او زه غواړم چې سوله راشي افغانستان کې آرامي واغه نه ماشومان مړ شي بمونه د مکې د وي را دي شي موږ وطن سره د سوله وکړي.
According to a UNICEF report, some 3.7 million children are still not in school in Afghanistan. Under Taliban government's 5-year rule before being ousted by US-backed forces in 2001, girls were banned from attending school. As the Taliban and the US discuss the prospects of peace, aid groups worry that the inclusion of the Taliban in any post-settlement government could see a slide back towards the hardline Islamist rule it imposed between the years 1996 and 2001.
Inspired by Indian culture, a British national has been living in India's southern Puducherry and is finding happiness in organic farming. He has set up a farm for creating a dynamic community around local food, permaculture and natural farming.
A native of England, Krishna Meganzai has set his career in India's southern Puducherry in organic farming. Inspired by the Indian culture, Meganzai made his life-changing decision of staying in India at the age of 19. Meganzai, who has a degree in acting, music biology, French and jazz guitar, shifted to Auroville City in the year 1993 and selected farming as his career.
in a country like England, we don't know where our food comes from. The food comes from South Africa, France, Australia, China. People don't know where their food comes from. When they don't know where their food comes from, they lost relationship with Bhumidev. Bhumidev's son Sami. Bhumidev's Amma. So if we lost relationship with the foundation of our life, how will be our society?
Mekanza in the year 1996 launched the Solitude Farm for creating the dynamic community around local food, permaculture and natural farming. And since then, he finds happiness in farming with special emphasis on the Tamil cuisine and culture in India.
Built inside a giant ice stupa in a mountain village in India's Leh region, an ice cafe is attracting scores of visitors. Resembling the Buddhist meditation place, the mound-like structure at the cafe are made of ice and also conserve winter wastewater.
Tourists visiting Indian mountain village of Gaya in Leh region of Jammu and Kashmir province can now enjoy hot drinks and eat traditional noodles at an ice cafe built inside a giant ice stupa. Resembling the Buddhist meditation place, the mound-like structures at the cafe are made of ice, which acts as an artificial glacier. Making mound-like structures of ice, which acts as an artificial glacier, is one of the most popular form of conserving winter wastewater in high desert cities.
पब्लिक का डिमांड आया था तो हमने एक सोचा था हम कॉरिडोर तो बना रहा है टनल जैसा बड़ा बना रहा है तो क्यों ना हम उधर 3-4 चेयर रख के एक आइस कैफ़े के नाम पे हम थोड़ा हम लोगों को उसका एक्सपीरियंस भी थोड़ा दिलाते हैं.
Man-made ice stupas are created by allowing water to fall on cone-shaped net structures from a certain height, and as the water starts freezing on the net, more water is added to increase the size of the cone. They can be found across Ladakh, a cold desert located at an altitude of 10,000 feet, and help resolve farmers' woes. In cold deserts areas like Leh, farming only takes place in summer as thick snow makes cultivation impossible.
People across India on Thursday celebrated the festival of colours, Holi, by smearing each other with colours, spraying water and dancing their heart out to mark the festivities. The spring festival signifies the triumph of good over evil. It also celebrates the eternal love of Lord Krishna and his consort Radha. Holi, the festival of colours, was celebrated across India on Thursday, with people smearing each other with colours, spraying water and dancing their heart out to mark the festivities. The spring festival signifies the triumph of good over evil. It also celebrates the eternal love of Lord Krishna and his consort Radha. Tourists from all over the world also joined in the revelries in western India's Jaipur city to celebrate the festival.
It's a wonderful festival and we're from England and enjoying every minute. Wonderful, happy Holi.
Similar scenes were witnessed in Amritsar city of northern India's Punjab province, where people from different communities got together to celebrate the festival. Children were seen dancing to the beats of famous Bollywood numbers and painting each other with vibrant hues.
ਇਹ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਗੱਲੇ ਦੂਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਘਿਰਣਾ ਦੂਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਗਲੇ ਮਿਲਣ ਦਾ ਤਿਉਹਾਰ ਆ ਬੁਰਾਈਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਲਾਉਣ ਦਾ ਤਿਉਹਾਰ ਆ.
An ancient Hindu tradition, the annual festival of Holi represents a time of forgiveness, renewed friendship and the triumph of good over evil. It is also a festival of joy, mirth and buoyancy, celebrated to herald the spring season when nature, casting off the winter gloom, looks its best. Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on southasianewsline.com. You can also visit us on facebook.com/SAsia Newsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsia Newsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.